to set us up here?
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome once again to Tarheel by Dark. This scene is happening at the residence of... Actually, Josh, why don't you set this one up? I lost track of where it was.
Basically on the outskirts of town, on a house on the hill, essentially, you know, your stereotypical Ventru fortress. Bilge pump's busily working to clear out the lower floor of the building. You just kind of see a small collection of cars pulling into what is essentially a dirt road parking lot, and we can just have everyone kind of entering as they will. But this is the entrance of our good scumbag harpy as usual. Essentially, he's just got the place set up for, you know, entertaining a small group of guests. He has no idea how many of them are going to actually be there, but it looks to be set up for, you know, entertaining guests. There's food, you know, cooking, candles lit up. He's just gone the whole nine as best he can, even considering the recent ecological disaster.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that reminds me, before we get into character, admin note we need to address. Mishi was mentioning that she needs to talk to you guys about if it's okay to update her puppet principles.
We're live. We don't need to deal with this now.
Okay, sorry. Back in character. Walsh basically drives up in his, okay, let's see, which car am I going to call this place today? Generic car. Drives up in his generic car to the driveway, gets out, and proceeds to hop, stop, and jump up to the door, and
basically, you see Ashford opening the door just rather quickly and concisely. He's dressed in sufficiently more and yet less than he normally wears. The man is shirtless in a very nice pair of tailored blue jeans and a lot of rather regalistic jewelry. Even this strange, what appears to be kind of a diadem Roman-style crown that kind of makes him look like an elf lord with his bloody hair the way it is. He's just kind of, oh, hello, Harry, come on in.
Walsh just says, yeah, I'm a little bit kind of curious as to what this this secret is that you've managed to find. This should be interesting.
Old family dirty laundry, essentially just being shelled out for profit. Gotta love being a Ventru.
Walsh proceeds to pop in and sit down and kick back and relax. Waiting for everyone else to go.
It's not too long before the Forgotten Midnight Span. Hold on. It's not too long before the Forgotten Midnight Span rolls up to the driveway, and Faye slides out and somehow has managed to leave that damn orange cat home this time and knocks on the door.
Basically, with just like a quick roll of the eyes, the door swings open. Please do come in. He just kind of bows a little bit at the waist, starts lighting up candles and kind of setting things up. Just sit anywhere you like. Pardon, I have to be very careful with these little relics that I'm gonna unearth, but it'll just be a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You see Cynthia. You see a Cynthia crawl out from behind, like not really behind it, but in the back seat, kind of freaking out Faye of when she went there. So she just follows along beside.
Where the hell did you come from? You weren't in my van 5 seconds ago.
I've been there the whole time. You didn't notice me?
And, familiar.
Just ask next time you want to hitch a ride.
And Eric will step out of Faye's car too, carrying an orange cat.
Fuck you with a chainsaw.
Walt's got to interject here.
Apparently, he was sitting in obfuscate in the back seat, holding the cat and petting it.
A familiar male voice is heard back there as well. Yeah, I tagged along too. I hope that's okay.
Apparently, Faye's car is now going to be forever known as the Clownmobile, as everybody starts climbing out of it.
Well, it's Bobby. I mean,
Yeah.
you can expect Bobby would pull something like that.
Just how many people do you have in one car?
I thought it was just me.
Well, you thought wrong. Hello, Faye. Also, can I roll a willpower roll?
Yes, you can.
6 dice, please.
Okay.
Think I know what she's doing.
Yep. And I'm gonna roll it. And boom. Woo! All the damn successes. Like,
You're good.
So Cynthia just takes a look at Ashford, bows, and goes to walk off somewhere else.
mhm. He returns the bow, just trying to gladly look a bit more nonplussed, but knowing that the Malky is a bit stalkerly attached to him, he's just looking a bit more nervous. I didn't know she was back in town. Okay.
Honestly looks at her.
Faye points to Walsh and goes, "It's his fault."
Cynthia just kind of looks at Ashford and screams, "Earthquake!" Walks away.
Earthquake. Oh, sorry. Harry, what in the world are you doing to create earthquakes?
Wolf
Yeah.
smiles and says, "Remember Apple technology?"
Oh, I told you no good would come of that shit.
Yeah, well, I think I figured out how to better control it now, but I got one small miscalculation and brought something through.
Small
You do realize that the prince probably wants to talk to you about that, right?
Josh,
Yeah,
I need a big favor.
sure.
When you're not speaking, can you please mute?
Yeah, that seems to be a Google issue, and no problem.
Because I can hear myself now, and every other time somebody speaks, they echo off of you, and it's really hard to hear everybody.
Yeah, no.
When Eric walks past Faye, he plops the orange cat in Faye's arms.
Question: is everybody in now?
Cynthia
In
goes
the-
running
in
back
the
out the
house.
door and to grab a certain other cat too.
Oh boy.
She
Let me
comes
know
in,
when everybody's in the house.
She comes in with this purple pink striped mess that is now blue.
I'm feeling sorry for your cat, Cynthia.
Ladies, gentlemen, everyone and sundry, sit down and try not to blow anything up. I've just gotten this place clean of hurricane damage and all the crap.
You too?
Okay, so everybody's in now?
Faye flops
everybody
down
hears,
on a plush seat.
Everybody hears, oh great, company again.
Here's what?
Here's, oh great, company again. Oh. This is gonna
company.
be right on my back.
Yeah, this is the point where
Josh knows what he just heard.
This is the point where Eric will activate that particular thing.
What activate what?
It's not a spirit. You don't see anything.
For now, he's just testing it out.
What you see kind of happening is Ashford just very gingerly dragging up what appears to be very old artifacts in vacuum-sealed bags. Something of a gold filigreed peacock feather, a human skull that looks to have very, very ancient bloody writing on it, which is just terrifying in and of itself. And rather odd bits of odds and ends, things like bits of femurs and just random nasty bargain basement hell stuff that you just wouldn't expect to just be loitering around someone's attic. And you can't really see anything in the way of spirits yet, but you can tell there's just a creepy vibe coming off this stuff.
5 successes on occult on the skull.
Well, it looks to be... How good's your academics?
None.
Well, you're shit out of luck because you know it's an esoteric frickin' form of writing, but you don't know what the fuck it says.
I'm gonna roll intelligence academics to figure out if I can get it. So that's academic.
Okay.
By the way,
Faye is looking
1 minute.
at the pile.
you're hearing that.
Who?
Hold on 1 moment, guys.
Everybody from the door.
Cynthia rolls her head around towards the door. I think there's someone there.
Guys,
Well, oh, go ahead, Will.
Ian,
Yep.
you made a occult academics roll on that one. Did I
No,
hear
it-
that right?
Intelligence occult.
Okay.
But yeah, the door
All right, proceed.
you heard it turn into a.
Basically, Ashford just darts to get that. Hold on. I'm trying to manage the madhouse.
In the meantime, Faye is looking at the pile of bones, and she turns to Cynthia and says, I didn't know you planned to make more cupcakes.
But yeah, you open the door, and there's an Asian lady standing there. Not one that any of you've seen before. She's a little plainer. And she's wearing a pantsuit. But yeah, her hair is tied back, not in a ponytail, but a bun that's at the back of her head. And she says, yes. She pulls up a bag that a briefcase that she's got in her hand, opens it up and looks at it. Mr. Ashford, is it?
Yes, indeed, ma'am. Pleasure to meet you.
Yes. My name's not necessary right now, but you have a guest I'd like to speak with briefly. If I may?
Certainly, but we haven't even started the proceedings yet, so I don't know how they would be. By
Quite
all
all
means.
right. Now, this isn't... Well, it has something to do with the proceedings, but may I?
Oh, of course. Being, female, he just kind of steps to the side and just, politely shows her in.
Right, okay. She walks in, and, by the way, they've all heard the Malkys. Yeah, all the Malkys. This voice sounds vaguely familiar.
Cynthia's just squinting at just the Asian lady, just kind of trying to remember things. Also, can someone roll me 6 dice for intelligence occult for the tablet?
Sure, I got you.
Just so the STs know, I'm going to take out my cell phone and take a couple of pictures of the skull, and then run the symbols through the electronic library that I have.
Okay. Also, I should mention, guys. Sorry, Nishi.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, what do I need to roll to see to try to remember where I know this voice from?
Let's do
Out.
perception alertness. Yeah, perception alertness. It won't be that hard, but perception alertness.
Okay.
And yeah, that's the Malkys who can.
On a side
hear
note,
that.
so what did I get for the tablet?
On a side note for the roll you had me do for you, Jess, you got 3 successes. What are you trying to figure out? As far as Mr. Walsh is able to discern, by the way, the writings appear to be in all kind of languages, specifically Etruscan, Mesopotamian, a bit of Romani, strangely enough, and just odd bits here and there. Kind of in a weird verbal stew, but the lettering just is rather chaotic. You can clearly tell that it was scrawled down by either Malkys or, ghouls of Malkys or something. It looks like a chaotic alphabet soup.
7 dice per
Alright.
perception awareness.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask if Cynthia wanted to roll.
7 dice, please.
I got you.
Oh,
Thank you.
No, I think Josh got it.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, you're a bit scatterbrained.
Yeah.
You don't quite know who it is.
Yeah. Scary
But-
Skull, all this
But
stuff.
Faye instantly recognizes, that sounds like Sunny. Wait.
Faye snaps her head around to Cynthia. When do you let sunshine out of the crystal?
What do you mean? I didn't
Because
let
of course,
her out of the crystal.
of course, she thinks it was Cynthia.
I
And
didn't let
she
her out of the
walking in.
crystal.
She walks in. By the way, her left hand is in a pocket, and she's carrying the briefcase with the right. What, Will?
Go ahead.
But yeah, she's got her left hand in her pocket, and the pocket on her coat, and the right is carrying the briefcase. And she says, "Now, ladies, you can stop fighting. I wasn't let out of the crystal. I went back to where I should be. This." And she looks down at herself. It's good to get out of that cramped space anyway. She says it with a grin because metaphysics and all that. But yeah, I've been back in my body for a while. It's not intact, and she pulls her hand out, and she's missing her left index finger, and she puts it back. But
Madam,
we'll
I
get
can't.
to that later. I was just here because of. I was sent to investigate. There's things I need to check. And she starts going around. She starts going around to the artifacts, and she's also just looking around the room.
Well, okay. Firstly, Nathaniel just kind of looks her straight in the eye. I don't suspect you mean any harm, but given that it is my domicile, I do expect non-aggressive actions. I'm not suspecting you of anything, you understand, but I don't know your capabilities, and those appear to be quite substantial, so...
She turns around, grins. "You have no need to worry, my dear fellow."
Oh, well, perfectly fine then.
And also, when she grins, you do not notice fangs at all. She has human teeth.
Mhm.
You don't have to worry about her, Mr. Ashford. She's good people, I think.
Mm.
We've been hearing her for a while anyway.
She's the other voice in my head. I like her.
Other
She's a lot nicer than most of the ones I hear.
alright.
She looks at Cynthia and says, "Feelings mutual, my dear." And just keeps looking around the room. She actually looks over at a certain spot and says, You. We need to talk later.
What's wrong?
Essentially, what you're seeing is Ashford just kind of hurriedly.
What's
Go
wrong
ahead,
with
Will.
you?
Will?
I'm sorry.
Name?
I don't know who you are. I'm sorry.
Tell you what, hon.
That's
I
kind of
can
dark.
I can show you a safe place, and you don't have to be here. This place kind of scares people, and being here for too long kind of makes you a little nutty. So we'll tell you what. And she just reaches over and touches him, and he disappears.
Bloody friend.
For those
Cynthia
that can
looks
see,
over at them now. Wait.
for those who have medium or can see ghosts, he just goes poof.
Yeah, Cynthia just kind of looks over at the now empty seat in awe, just like, but I like that one. Why?
He'll be back. I just took him to a safe place so he doesn't go loco. I picked that up from the kids.
All right. Silence and quiet, people. I need to concentrate. Ashford just
continues
seems
to
to be
explore. Go ahead.
scrawling a rather unusual and intricate hexagram in very strange kind of salt patterns on the floor, just making sure, being a pagan, he's just like, I know about these spirit things. I'm just making sure that I got my circle and shit drawn and everything. Not just, no. All right.
I'm sorry, I assume that I recognize what he's doing.
Yeah, you definitely do. Essentially, and then he just sort of draws out this very intricate kind of what appears to be a very nicely polished steel double-edged knife, which for those in the know is also kind of the athame thing. He just kind of slowly draws it across his arm. For those of you who aren't exactly all that aware, not to oversimplify it or over water it down, but essentially what we do with our disciplines, you might consider a certain form of blood sorcery. It's a kind of exchange for the life that we've stolen. We can achieve certain ends, intensifying our physical capabilities and such. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. 3 successes on intelligence, so cult rule for Walsh to know what this ritual is that Ashford is doing.
Oh, he's literally just, arranging a careful defensive perimeter so that ghosts ain't just flying all about the place.
Okay.
The older cultures, the blood just wasn't the death, it was also the life. There was a more cyclical meaning to life, as, reincarnation, the seasonal rank and reason of it all. Essentially, the reason why it had to be done here, the reason why I needed to be present was, and I mean no personal affront to the Malkavians in the building, but your family perpetrated a wrong to my own, and I fear that there might have been some form of a curse or a malediction done, and I feel that my presence and my symbolic sharing of blood condoning these actions might, lessen the effects of any darkness befalling for rebestowing this gift of your heritage unto you. Out of character, he is just hoping that this is going to help. He's not, working any sort of Tremere style magics. Just kind of going through a ritualistic, religious blessing kind of a thing.
What are you talking about?
Yes, Miss Faye?
I was just gonna say, can I roll an intelligence occult to find out to see if this is actually gonna work?
By all
You hear a
means.
cursory. You hear a cursory. Quaint. As you're setting up the circle, and then nothing else from the peanut gallery for a while.
Yeah, the Dark's just watching.
Heritage? Did we do something, like, did we do something to your clan, Ashford?
You have no idea. Essentially, when the first of your members that my family came across, the theoretical posthumous father of this ability, Iskander Dragisliv, inherited this ability. You unleashed quite a cavalcade of Trojan dead upon my ancestor Hector's ancestral estate, shall we say. Well, the air feels a lot lighter, Miss Faye. There does seem to be a certain amount of good energy in the room, but I don't know if it will necessarily keep a bunch of unwieldy chaotic spirits at bay, but it definitely does feel safer. It's essentially it's essentially like trying to seal up a, crack in a submarine. You hope that it works, and you hope to surface and get it done quickly, but you don't know.
God damn it.
Now, if you don't mind, ladies, you'll have to examine these artifacts yourselves and kind of come to grips with what they have to offer. I would advise using your family's gifts as seers, that rather talented little gift of aspects that you all seem to have.
For Spirit's Touch, as a recap, what would it be? Dice pool.
Perception, empathy, I believe.
Sounds right.
So what are you trying to touch, Miss Cynthia, while I'm rolling this for you?
Oh, not right now. She's just kind of staring at the skull, very focused.
Whichever one of you is bravest, of course. I don't want to rush either of you into doing this, but I felt it was my responsibility since the bad blood started with a miscommunication and a misunderstanding between our two families, that it was only right for me to put it in proper perspective and restore this gift to the two of you.
On the side, you see Cynthia get up and walk around the circle at least 3 times, and then just kind of as if she's looking for an entrance.
Yeah, you're not like blurring the lines of it or anything. You're just kind of trying to step around and, see if there's like any place where you're not going to disturb anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, as long as you're careful, I mean, you're not going to, disturb it too much. You just kind of walk over it.
Then 7 dice, please.
All right, will do gladly. Real quick, just gonna roll that for you, and
Another thing from the peanut gallery, the lady's walking around the circle, and occasionally she breathes in, holds her hand over her mouth, and then directs it toward the circle.
5 successes you have here. So let me just kind of set that up. As you go to kind of spirit touch and do your little psychic prescience thing kind of on the artifact itself, you just see a very strong parade of images at first, and then it goes more and more intense. The movie projector just kind of gets wider and wider in your head. You're just starting to see this rather intricate golden palace on this beach. It's, a very kind of built-up fortress at the shore side kind of a thing. And you're just seeing, like, legions, dozens of these rather ghostly, freakish, kind of barrel-white, somewhat decayed, ghostly beings just swarming over this, what used to be this pristine castle, and this very well-armored Trojan individual just fuming and raging at this extremely tall, like 7'2" individual that seems to be a particularly gaunt kind of Slavic event. He just seems to kind of be a rather dark kind of, black-eyed, dark-haired kind of fellow. And he just seems to be in a fit of some kind of mania, trying to explain as he's gibbering, I didn't mean for any of this to happen, I didn't mean for any of this to happen. And you just feel like his panic and his fear as this is going on. And it just kind of slowly hits you as these ghosts just kind of fly through you for a moment, and you just kind of reel back in shock, and you're just trying to catch your breath, even though you realize vampires don't need to breathe.
Hold on. Did you say ghosts were flying into her?
Well, considering she just used Spirit's touch, I was just setting the scene of what she's seeing.
I'm just wondering because I can see ghosts. So
It's not really physical
It's
ghosts.
in her head.
Yeah.
okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a vision.
Sorry, I missed
Side
something.
note.
I missed part of that when I got disconnected. Sorry.
So I only have Auspex 2, and I can't seem to get the or what I can do with that to examine the artifacts.
No problem.
On these side notes, through the Malky network, she's personally, she's actually crying, which I'm going to spend a point of blood to do so. But over the Malky network, she seems panicked.
They will actually get up and go over to Cynthia. And kind of takes her arm and says, "Tell me what you see."
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean for this to happen. That's all she repeats and is pretty much silent.
And, my dear, I'm sorry, but I believe your mind went back to the Black Night, the moments in which my family was cursed by the spiritual influence of your ancestor. I do apologize, but this is why I wanted to make amends. I wanted to re-gift this ability to you, to your family, so to speak.
She shakes her head slowly as she just kind of goes back to sit down. Although she's very interested in the peacock feather now.
Now, I do realize this might be distasteful, but the issue will probably be exacerbated because, as near as I can, the origin point for this particular gift is kind of written on this skull. He kind of sniffs it, kind of curiously. I know, knowing that a rather ancient trinket is soaked in some rather strange kindred vitae isn't exactly the most safe or sanitary of things, but if you would like, I could, let's just hope I don't have to swallow it if I have to pass it on to the two of you, but, we can find some way around that, I'm sure. By the way, well, if you're typing anything to me on Facebook, let me know, but I didn't know what you were working on, so bloop, that you do. Just trying to manage the three-ring circus. Hope I'm doing okay.
So yeah, I don't know what I can actually do with any of this, since again, I do only have Auspex 2.
Yeah, no problem. So what
Hey,
Ashford...
Will.
Mm.
Or Walt, is there any way that maybe I can project it onto the network?
You know, in this particular case, the veil is kind of thin, and just for the sake of cinematic ambiance, you can go ahead and give it a shot, I'd say.
What would I roll?
I'd say just roll your Auspex again and give it a go.
And bear in mind that Faye is still in physical contact with Cynthia.
Yep.
And
She took her on, remember?
If you're projecting onto the network, there shouldn't be a room necessary.
yeah, you can just do it. Because you're sending a thought to the network.
Oh, okay. I wasn't quite
So-
clear on what you wanted to do, so yeah. Thanks, guys.
Okay, then Faye would be seeing everything of what Cynthia just went through.
Faye's grip on Cynthia's arm tightens, and she steps closer to Cynthia. And just kind of falls silent.
You are basically looking at just, again, Cynthia is not her talkative self. She's completely silent and just staring in your eyes, crying.
Well, whenever you're ready. I'm sure we can handle the distasteful business amongst the three of us. Is there anything I need to be aware of? He basically looks to this, rather new person in the group that he's never exactly met before that seems to be...
Seems to be what?
He just kind of seems to be looking at this rather human person with these rather...
Oh, the Asian woman.
Yeah.
She looks at them. I've learned enough from them. She did indeed see a vision. I'm not exactly connected to them anymore, so I can't really see what they saw. But, seems rather traumatic.
Miss Faye, if you would like me to pass this on to you, you may only nod. Miss Cynthia, as soon as you compose yourself, I'll give you the option as well. But I don't mean for you to suffer any sort of trauma. I was merely allowing you to authenticate that these are legitimate artifacts that do belong to your family by and large. And he just actually kind of circles his arms around her and kind of protectively enfolds her for about, 15 seconds and kind of lets go, quickly composing himself.
Cynthia just kind of smiles and nods. If anybody, just the smile was a very, very brief thing. Just like, boop, gone.
Faye looks over at... Faye looks over at Ashford and nods.
Basically, what you're seeing is him just kind of carefully kneeling down, just very, very, very gingerly, and licking some of the writing on the skull, and he proceeds to essentially tongue kiss the crap out of her, basically rubbing the blood onto her tongue so she swallows it, and that he basically doesn't have to, imbibe it himself. so she doesn't have to go through the horror of having to lick a dead guy's skull. Ugh. While this is going on, that was rather nasty.
Faye looks almost more traumatized at the fact that Ashford has just basically French kissed her than she would have if she had to lick the skull. What the fuck is the sort of expression that she's got on her face right now?
Yeah, Eric is like looking like, what the fuck? And he's the blood mage here.
Two successes on an intelligence occult roll to figure out the significance of why the skull had to be licked, like blood transferred that way.
Basically, without much having to preamble on it, you realize that, like most disciplines, it was essentially passed through the blood. And this being Iskandar's blood, it had to be passed on to the Malkavian reciprocants. And Nate was just honestly trying to do it in a more symbolic way without her having to have the morbid yuck of tasting a skull.
By the way,
you guys actually
Nate,
by this point,
Nate feels eye daggers from the Asian lady.
Eric actually goes, ew!
Faye has just dropped to her knees, like, I wasn't expecting that.
I have seen some really repellent things in my unlife, but holy crap! What the? What's the normal saying these days? The fuck?
Cynthia just looks over at Ashford, grins. She's like, "I'll just lick the skull."
You hear a
that's
from the Asian lady.
Ashford just turned completely stone-faced and just kind of shrugs. I mean, he actually didn't get any kind of enjoyment out of it. It was more of a symbolic thing.
Yeah,
Faye doesn't have to breathe. Faye doesn't have to breathe, but she's still hyperventilating. And the next thing out of her mouth, you don't taste like Annika. She says and darts out of the room.
Wow.
Just remember, people, this is something that can never be unseen.
We've just learned something about Faye. Good to know.
So yeah, Cynthia just goes back over the skull and just staring Ashford down for no reason, or like her own reasons, and just slowly licks it as if it's salt.
See, that's perfectly normal.
Alright, so you just have this very raw, weird experience of not only this very old, dry, chalky bone, but this extremely, extremely, extremely tasty vampire blood. So, I would like you to make a roll power real quick and just try and see if you're gonna try and lick it again or do anything with it, because I know Cynthia, she's scatterbrained.
Oh,
6
no.
dice, please.
I'll take care of it.
I can roll it.
I'm already on it.
Okay.
Botch.
Oh!
Retro.
So Cynthia takes the skull, essentially just walks to the other side of the room, and continues to lick it in the corner. Slightly
hold
moaning
on.
in the background.
Hold on. How many licks does it get to the take to get to the center of the? And he that's exactly what Eric says. Eric actually says that and then trails off.
Actually, once Cynthia picks it up, she feels hands under hers. And before she manages to get skull to mouth, the hands slip under hers and lift it.
You never
And
go
lift it
skull.
close. And lift it close to the face, and you can see it's the Asian lady. She just stares at you like,
You
no.
never go skull.
Yeah.
And put it back where it was.
So she's just kind of staring at her with empty hands and a tongue out of her.
See, that was actually to avoid some rather unseemly behavior. I wasn't trying to. I do apologize, Faye. I didn't mean to traumatize you.
Faye's kind of sitting in the corner, like, warn me next time.
Oh, by all means, of course. I wasn't expecting it to be that dramatic. It's been a long time since I've actually dealt with someone of such divergent skill level. Oh, pardon. I did. He kind of quietly shuts up after that, just kind of going a little bit, more awkwardly, politely quiet.
Okay, apparently lots of people had internet problems all at once. That was weird. Anyway.
All I gotta say is you never go skull to mouth.
Very accurately put. Ladies, you now have the genetic potential to do what the original spirit channelers, the original mediums, and Sibyli of those particular nationalities had the same capability of doing. However, if you're going to start, using any of these particular abilities, I would advise to take home the photocopies of the bloody scrolls and not to just start summoning ghosts in my house.
Yes, then I have to come visit all of you.
Mm-hmm.
And she very menacingly looks around.
Okay, I'll just start summoning ghosts in Harry's lab.
At that moment, Harry reached out his phone, just as a joke, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a random number generator, true random number generator website called random.org. Walsh has set it for dice roll, and basically has just put up a the dice roller and goes, I'll try to quantify anything that shows up, and gives a giant wink to go, yeah, there's nothing here I can quantify.
I wouldn't advise messing too much with ghosts.
At least not until you understand what the gifts themselves do. Even the first...
Or at least not without somebody that's trained in dealing with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most ghosts you find are troublesome things.
And these in particular very much so. The origin of the gift actually came from a member of the of my own bloodline. Well, not exactly bloodline, but the original inhabitants of Ireland. I believe they were referred to as the She. It was a rather troublesome member of that particular race.
Fey curses. Lovely things. The sarcasm is dripping from what she says.
Yes, the bargain struck was beneficial, but also quite troublesome. Iskander was a horribly manic individual, and as you know, some of their kind can feed off extremely intense emotions, and let's just say this particular fairy had a field day. But please, ladies, I do ask you within the bounds of not just pounding the blasted witch drum and summoning ghosts while I'm around, or at least anywhere near the premises. We've already had enough of the Trojans being cursed by the Moon Children for many, many centuries now.
So what does this power do?
Oh, basically, retrieves the English translation. Essentially, the first level, you cause your heart to beat at superhuman speeds, forcing the blood through it and turning it into a kind of morbidly telltale art-esque kind of musical instrument to raise the dead, and this is quite effective in and of itself. The problem is, the other levels are quite interesting, but this entry-level tactic is just a rather terrifying Halloween display compared to the next few steps down the ladder.
It sounds like you're referring to necromancy.
It's a sort of thing, but the problem is the specifics of this fake contract deal with lost spirits, not particularly of the human kind, but other spirits as well.
You all hear a thump, and the briefcase is now on the floor and being opened.
By all means, by all means.
She pulls out some paperwork and starts writing. All right, Allison Faye Palmer, Cynthia Rose Pennington, Nathaniel Ashford. Oh, right, already on the list. You'll be watched.
List.
And she puts the list away.
List of.
Oh, she pulls it back out. And Lucas. Never mind.
Ashford just raises an eyebrow. He just raises an eyebrow and he's just kind of slowly grinning. The life of a spy.
Leah's gonna kill me for that. And she just turns around and walks out the door.
This is what happens when I try to restore family lineages. Ashford just kind of shrugs his shoulders massively. The guy's built like a bull, but since he's usually clothed under very finely tailored clothing, you can't really normally tell. But since he's shirtless, you can clearly tell the dude is ripped all to shit.
Can I do another willpower roll to try not to lick the skull? Because I'm pretty sure she's still hung up on it.
Sure, you can.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Yep, you're fine.
Yep.
She just kind of looks away from the skull, just saying no.
You will not find out how many licks it takes to get to the center.
Nope, that's the thing.
Now, by all means, you can learn anything you would wish to from the archives, at least referring to this particular discipline, for a nominal fee. I won't be charging you very much because it is part of your lineage. Now, anyone who wishes to learn this, who is not of your bloodline, they'll be paying through the nose.
By the way, she looks at Eric and goes, "Don't you mean how many licks it takes to get to the eye socket?"
That's not that hard to do. You just turn the skull to face you, and there's the eye socket.
Ladies, gentlemen, please do make yourselves at home. You're welcome to my hospitality. But, please, just don't try and summon any specters. I believe we're probably going to have enough problems as it is, what with the, spiritual balance of things reasserting themselves, what with the veils being recently mended or trying to mend themselves. And with Ashford finishing this little speech, you just hear the winds picking up and the lamps and everything else besides the candles just kind of slowly flickering and winking out, and that's where we'll kind of leave the scene, because it proceeds to storm and only mist for a while, and then it just kind of quietly dies down after an hour or two.
Anyone else want to do anything else, or should we end it there?
I think we're ending it there.
All right. Stay tuned, everyone, for the next scene from Tarheel by Dark.